Welcome to another episode of Disability and You. I'm Ganesh Singh, your host. On this edition, I will be having a conversation with Holly Ann Maxihong and Yutam Kumar Iserdin, both of whom are wheelchair users. Kumar, as he is known, and Holly, as she is known, will discuss and share with you the challenges that they encounter as wheelchair users trying to navigate our built environment and going about their daily business. The reason that we are focusing on this topic for this edition is because sometimes we go about our daily lives without thinking of the challenges that persons with various forms of disabilities must deal with on a daily basis in order to live an independent, productive life. So I encourage you to stay tuned and do pay keen attention to what will come out of our discussion with Holly and Kumar. Welcome, Holly. Welcome, Kumar, to the program.
Welcome to.
Thank you, Ganesh, for having us.
Excellent. Holly, you've been a wheelchair user for not very long, probably 3-4 years?
2.5 going on 3.
Not that many.
Yes.
Prior to acquiring your disability, I assume that you were very active. Am I correct?
Yes, I was very active, not only in my personal life, but in my professional life. I had a job that required me to be on my feet up and about for almost 80% of my workday.
So when you acquired your disability, what were some of the significant changes that you made as an individual to help, wanting for a better word, to cope with your newfound situation and also to aid the process of reintegration?
One of the first steps that I did is I got my I moved from a wheelchair. Because of my disability, I have muscle weakness. So a wheelchair was not the best device for me to be able to reintegrate into society. So I moved from a wheelchair to a motorized scooter to allow me to be independent. I did not want to depend on my family, friends, and caregiver to have to take me where I wanted to go. I wanted to be able to do my everyday chores, what I was accustomed to, independently. So with a motorized scooter, I'm now able to do, I'll say, about 70% of the things that I previously did independently on my
Good.
own without.
That's the key word. I will come back to that a bit more. We deconstruct what independence mean for someone using a wheelchair. Kumar, when you acquired your disability, what were some of the changes you made in order to cope and to reintegrate yourself?
Well, first of all, I acquired disability 12 years back, and a spinal cord injury. So for that time to now, I have to use a wheelchair because of I cannot walk.
Yeah.
So, and I have a family. So the challenges was I have to accept and move on and try to be independent, because for having a disability like spinal cord injury is you have to restart back your life from a scratch. And I have a young family, so it's like the urge was there that I have to get up and find ways to get things done. And the changes was not easy, but as times goes by, it helps me, and even the internet and encouragement from people. But accessibility is our main concern right now.
And that is what the focus is on for this program. Our focus is on accessibility and independence. Those are our two key words for this edition. Holly, what independence means, what the term independence means to you as someone using a wheelchair?
Ganesh, as a wheelchair user, independence means that I am able, or I should be able, to do all of the activities or enjoy the same benefits of someone who has the ability of their legs. That's what independence means to me. I should not be hindered from doing anything or taking part in any activity that is available for the public use.
So just being able to live your life like every other citizen
Yes.
of Guyana.
Yes?
That's what independence means.
Yes.
What about you, Kumar? What the term independence means to you?
But,
What does the term independence
Independence means to you.
well, independence is like to have a freedom. And the main topic, the inclusion.
So you must be able to be free to do what you want.
Right, yes, because it's not wheelchair users alone. It's all type of disability and elderly people.
Mhm.
You know, we have a right. We must be comfortable going and moving to places.
Mhm.
You know, and that's why I'm always saying that please let we make the whole country fully accessible, so everyone have a right to have a free life. You know.
Excellent. Holly, both Kumar and yourself, independence means freedom and being able to live your life
Yeah.
like everyone else. What are some of the barriers that you encounter on a daily basis? You know, I'm sure there are many, but let's look at them in different categories. Just going about doing your daily task as an individual, paying your bills, or going to the supermarket, or taking care of your responsibilities as an adult. As an adult. What are some of those challenges? We're not going to get into the other areas as yet, but just living your daily lives. What are some of the challenges, Kumar and Holly?
Kumar, you want to go first? Go ahead.
Well, first thing, as a wheelchair user, when you come out from your apartment or home and you get on the road, the surface is not on is uneven. The road edges and the sidewalk is not properly. Those things affects us. You know what I mean? But just that you want to meet your destination, you do it, and you just digest it, and whatever way you do it, you got to say thank God. But I always advocating for, smooth edge, smooth.
So you must have
sidewalk.
the curb cuts so that it,
Yeah.
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 So it's like a lot of challenges. But you see, come to direct to us and ask us for good ideas. We are willing to, put forward those ideas because I'm into 12 years into wheelchair and I'm moving on daily basics and I know the challenges.
Mhm. So do you, let's say, go on the road on your own? Do you, like, use your wheelchair on the sidewalks or the
Yes.
roadways?
But sometimes when the sidewalk is not smooth enough of access, fully access, I have to use the road or the street. And
So
take
you
risks.
have to use your wheelchair on the road
On
itself?
the road.
Yes,
And
I
there
have to
is
take the
where
risk. But you see now, I have to always be navigating, and like, okay, I want to go to the next street. I have to take my risks, But I try to do it in a safe way. Like, for example, when the traffic light is on, there's a stop sign. I take that piece quickly, you know what I mean. But it's not safe on the sidewalk because it's very uneven,
And it's even more riskier on
risky,
the
right.
roads, the
on
roadways.
yeah, and jumping off of what Kumar said, for our daily move around, as you see, we're talking about going to the supermarket. Before I even think about leaving my home, I have to think about which supermarket can accommodate me with my.
Well, we're not gonna say names.
wheelchair.
We
No, we're
know-
not talking about
yes.
names. Yes, right. That's the first thing you have to think about. Then you have to look at the transportation aspect of it. there is no public transportation available for wheelchair users. So we are left to spend out of pocket. And because of our added equipment, we have to normally pay an extra cost for the taxi. So that's an added cost to us going out. So when we actually get to go out, there is the situation where if we're going into the city central, there is no designated stop point or parking for wheelchair users. So when we have to get out of those vehicles, we are battling with oncoming traffic.
Yeah, because there's, as you said, there's no
Yes.
designated
None.
disability parking.
No.
Right.
So then you're left to at the mercy of the taxi driver, who sometimes you don't have that close relationship with, and the general public or the road users, the minibus drivers, the other road users, who then you have to hope that they understand and they give you the patience, because sometimes they're blowing, but there is nothing you can do because you have to complete your process of getting into your wheelchair or your motorized scooter.
You
So
wanted
that
to
is
say something, Kumar?
Yeah. Yes, Ganesh. Some of the most of the place where you offload, they don't have a disability parking, and that is a major problem. It's like we don't belong to here. And the next thing, when some of the ramps now, some ramps so steep it risks your life.
You can't
You
go
know,
up the ramp.
You can't go up. You make God look for a strong person to help assist you.
Yeah.
And that is not independence.
Right. So
Right.
that takes you right back to you not being able to be independent and to function as any other Guyanese citizen. You now have to depend on someone else to help you up. There are situations when you go to business places, they may have a ramp for you to access the location, but then there is no washroom facility for us. Then you're going to speak with the counter staff, and the window is above your head, so all the person is barely seeing is your fingers. So they have to, in some instances, you have to ask them to come around to speak with you, or they would
That's if you get to go into the building.
yes, if you access the building. So it really dehumanize us, because we look around and we realize that there are no changes coming, or persons are not building or renovating with us in mind. They're not leaving room for us to be able to function as contributing members of society.
And you both of you highlighted a number of factors there. From the time you leave your home, you have to consider transportation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that means coming out of your wheelchair, someone would have to lift you
Yes.
Yes.
into that car seat
Yes.
and then store the wheelchair away.
Yes.
Yes.
Then you got to think of the place that you're going if there's a ramp.
Yes.
Yes.
Even if there is a ramp, you got to think, would there be any parking that I can offload?
Right. And
Yes.
some of the ramps, they don't have proper rail system. You have to get up a rail for grip and pull-ups, or
Pull yourself along.
Yes,
Yeah, or to stop in
balance too,
case of
All
all
emergency.
ramps also have a rail system, a proper rail system.
Or the ramp should be built to specifications.
Right.
And most of the ramps are not built to specification, because even as a motorized wheelchair user, sometimes I have difficulties navigating the ramps with a motorized scooter. So I shudder to think what happens to persons who, like Kamar, who's trying to navigate it on his own.
Exactly. And then even if you get into that building, sometime if you go to a supermarket, the aisles might be so small.
Yes.
The aisles are narrow, they are produce packed in the aisles, so you cannot navigate the aisles for itself to get through to actually do your shopping.
Holly and Kumar, we would have discussed quite a number of challenges and barriers that exist as it relates to you just going about your normal day.
Yeah.
Let's think in the different areas now, the different aspects that make up our lives. Let's think of education. Let's say both of you are adults, but doesn't mean that you do not want to pursue higher level education. What are the issues or the challenges there?
I can speak because it's really kind of fresh in my memory. I because the my previous life or my previous job, I was very active. So when I realized that I am going to be a wheelchair user moving forward, I had to switch gear. And the first thing was looking to see what avenue or where I can, what can I study that would allow me to be able to be a contributing member of society. And I wanted to change and do something different or in a field that I would not need to be standing, where I can sit and be able to work. And I found one of the challenges that, again, there is no accessibility for us. We may qualify for certain learning institutions, but we are unable to attend those institutions because of the fact that we would not be able to attend class if the classes are going to be in person.
And it's not just having a ramp to the entrance,
No.
but it's accessible washrooms,
Accessible washrooms, accessible
wide corridors.
exactly, doorways, even the classroom itself will need to be air spaces for us to be able to put our wheelchair and have desks
Yeah.
or writing surfaces that we will be able to comfortably be there for
It's like-
2 hours,
It's
3
like
hours.
you have to be a wheelchair friendly, wheelchair friendly place. So you can always say, okay, from the beginning now, oh, I feel comfortable, I will have a nice day,
And these things we must lament that they're not expensive if they're incorporated in the design phase
Yes.
of any construction. So in the design, when they're in the process of designing a building, if these features are incorporated, the cost is minimal.
Exactly. Instead of having to do it after you'd have build the new building, then you have to modify it to accommodate a
Good.
wheelchair user.
Kumar,
yes.
Holly, both of you were employed
Yes.
Yeah.
prior to or acquiring your disability.
Yes.
And I'm quite sure you are both eager to be re-employed and enter the labor force once again.
Yes.
What are the barriers? I know they might, again, be the same, but let's reinforce them. What are the barriers that are hindering you from gaining employment?
Go
Well,
ahead, Kumar.
first thing, I have to I want a job. Yes, I want to be employed back. I have a family. But due to my disability, there are a lot of side effects and so on. So I have to always be on alert. So if I go to work, yes, I have to get a proper washroom facility, a bottom flat, and also the management got to be aware that, oh, this is a wheelchair user or this is person with disability. Must be treated equal. All of us must be treated equal. All like that now, the payment must be different. It must be same as the people, because we pay in tax. We want to earn. We have a family. We have expense too. So it's like, yes, we want to get back and have a normal life again. But just that the society got to prepare that, okay, it's an inclusive places that everybody want to go back and get a job.
Yeah, for me, this, what you said is quite correct. Entering back into the workforce, for me, it would take, it's a lot of adjustment that needs to happen in terms of accessibility, because I am qualified, I am experienced. However, most of my options in terms of employment, it's kind of narrowed down because of the fact that most buildings in Guyana are not accessible, are not wheelchair friendly, in terms of no ramps, elevators, washroom facility, even office space, or how offices and the building is situated,
The layout, yeah.
the layout.
Yeah.
We don't have right now we do not have the availability or the access for us to be able to work.
You see, and that's the thing. You even if you get to acquiring an education one way or another, how would you be able to use that to earn? Because if the places of employment are not accessible, you're back to ground zero.
Yeah.
We talk about employment. We spoke of education. I'm sure, like everyone else, you as individuals would want to have or to participate in recreational and social activities. I'm going to be very candid. Is that something you're able to do, Holly Ann? Able to socialize and go out as you did? I'm assuming that you were active, with friends and so forth prior to acquiring your disability. Are you still able to do those things? Are you still able to go to a recreational facility, or if you want to go view a sport game, some game or something of that nature? Are you able to do those things?
No, quite. The short answer is no. I have not been able to do almost all of my activities that I did prior to my disability because of the fact that there are no consideration for us in any of those arenas. It is something that as a PWD, I am always reminded that every time I'm planning something or I want to have an activity, even if it's in a family setting, I have to call ahead because I'm not sure what is going to happen. Or in cases you are not granted access because of a previous
Well,
rule or
1 second.
law or guidelines.
But yeah, guideline
yeah.
within the organization.
Yes,
the company.
example, the national park. Now, for me to go to the national park, the taxi can't drop me at the gate and come back. They have to drop me inside. So most times that I have to go to the national park, it's always a back and forth. You have to have a discussion with security, or you have to, there is never a case where they understand that you are allowing the vehicle to come in to drop off a wheelchair user. They're not staying, but the person needs to be dropped off where they plan to picnic or where they plan to spend the evening. And so because you don't want to go through the hassle and the frustration.
So it's like you
don't-
have to plan all of these things, not just the activity, but you got to plan with accessibility in mind.
Accessibility in mind. Everything you want to do. If you want to go to the creek,
Yeah.
you have to think of where can you go that
That is
you'll be
accessible.
able to get to the riverside, anything.
Let
You
me add
wanted to say something,
Yeah, let me
Kumar?
add into something to that. When for go on evacuation, you want to be part of it because your family or your friends or loved ones, right? So it's like, oh, this place is not accessible, but I want to go. So what you do now, you look for some relative or some friends to assist you. Oh, please lift me over the step, or lift me, or pull through me in the sand. You know what I mean? But just because you want to have, you want to be with your family or friends. So it's like, it be a problem that it's not accessible, but you want to go. But those things now, you do me always call the supervisor or the management and say, oh, please Bill, please make a ramp
Yes, a
flat
plyboard.
surface. Okay, we can have a roll through, cater for all people. It's like we want to be a part, but you see that what happened nowadays most people tend to stay home and lock away in a room, because they said that, I will not be comfortable while, like, if I want to go quick, you want to go play park, you know what I mean? So it's like that is a
It's
system
like
now.
you're forced to make a decision to say what? I'll stay home and I'll go nowhere.
Yes.
You're forced to do that.
Yes.
Yes.
Because of the inaccessibility.
Right.
Before we conclude, I just want us to, we've lamented the problems. The challenges are clear. What can be done? What are some recommendations?
I've seen some amount of progress in the sense of Persons are now including us in the discussions. You are There needs to be more inclusion. You plan to do something, you have to also remember that you're not only catering for able-bodied persons, you're also catering for wheelchair users
And persons with disabilities in
and
general.
persons with disabilities in general.
And
So-
you know, one of the things I just want to say, Holly, is that when you design
Yes.
for persons with disabilities in mind, it caters for everyone. It caters for the
Everyone.
pregnant
Right.
Yes.
woman. It caters for the older persons
Right.
who might have mobility issues.
Yeah.
And even parents
And
with
those who are
strollers,
Parents with strollers.
With strollers,
Yeah.
yes.
workers with trolley. You know, it for everyone. And you know, people will say, oh, all right, no, there's not time for lock away room to come out now and have a free life. So
And you know, one of the humorous situation I've encountered is that I've gone to places where there are ramps that are designed to according to specifications, but they're blocked with either flower pots
Yes.
or something else that hinders a wheelchair user from going in. So you got to go ask somebody
You
to
have
clear
to-
that now.
yes.
yes,
And it's ludicrous.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. So we need buildings, public buildings, to be designed with ramps,
right, definitely.
wide doorways,
Yes,
all the specifications for full accessibility,
Yes.
and we also need public transport. Am I correct?
Yes. Public
Definitely.
transport for persons with disabilities, for wheelchair users.
All right, Holly and Kumar,
yes.
your final thoughts. We have a few minutes.
Go ahead, Kumar.
Well, Ganesh, I want to say that how our country is in a transformation process right now. A lot of buildings, a lot of hotels and so on, road. You know, the engineer them should, meet out to the organization and get like in good or ideas. Okay, all right, if they have a problem, how to get this ramp or smooth sidewalk. You know, we are forehand, you know what I mean? I'm into this thing 12 years. We can all make everything smooth and easy for everybody. It's not hard.
Excellent.
Our ideas is very good, you know?
Yeah.
And we can get a fully accessible Guyana.
Great.
Yes, my final thought, Ganesh. First off, thank you for having us on the program, so we can highlight to the general public what are some of our challenges and how we can overcome them. As Kumar said, we are on a transformational rise, and unless we are part of the conversation now, we are going to be left behind. And we do not want, as a community, not to partake of Guyana's new oil and gas wealth, what is coming, what is there for us. And for that to happen, accessibility needs to be on the forefront in everybody's mind. Every plan that is being made, every conference that is to be had, there should be some thought given to accessibility for us, so we can be a part of everything that is good for Guyana.
Excellent. Kumar, Holly, Ann, thank you very much for sharing. And I am quite sure this conversation will not end here, but you will continue your advocacy
Yes.
to ensuring that we have an accessible Guyana. To the general public, please do play your part in ensuring that Guyana becomes an accessible place for all persons living with disabilities. Thank you.